Hello, and thank you for tuning in to HXGN TV. I'm Jay Pongonis. Today we're going to be talking about the Hexagon Geospatial Producer Suite. So I'm joined by Zaiyong Gou, Product Line Director for ERDAS IMAGINE, and Vince Smith, Product Line Director for GeoMedia. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
So Zaiyong, we'll start with you.
Okay.
Can you tell me a little bit about what the IMAGINE development team has been up to?
Well, we spent the whole year since last June to improve IMAGINE in various aspects. One very important aspect is to make IMAGINE 64-bit. And this has a very significant impact because nowadays your hardware becomes quite cheap. So 32-bit environment only allows you to use 4G memory, while 64-bit allow us to use your unlimited amount of memory. So a lot of times your customer are asking us, how do we, I spend all this money to buy this machine, but does IMAGINE really use it? When the answer now is that yes, we can use it, and you can use as much memory as you can afford to buy, and we make IMAGINE a lot more stable and perform a lot better in a 64-bit environment. And of course, this is just one of the many things that we did to improve IMAGINE.
Can you talk some more about some of the other improvements?
Sensor model, and we know that IMAGINE's core competency is in the image processing. We have to go out and try to catch the wave of all the sensors that are being available, either be radar or various satellites that have been launched by various countries. Some of the places we do not even know. Central Asia countries launching satellite left and right, and Peru it was launching the satellite. And also there's availability of a lot of radar data as freely available in Europe. So we try to develop corresponding capabilities so that we can handle this sensor and the sensor information correctly and get the data in a proper form so that they are GS ready.
So one of the other things, the huge buzzwords around is autonomous cars. And of course, autonomous cars, in order to function properly, they need machine learning. Can you talk a little bit about how your team is bringing that into the geospatial world?
Sure. I think the question is why the autonomous car has anything to do with the geospatial. Well, it has a lot to do with the geospatial. And as the economy gradually evolve into what they call API economy platform, even Ford, as a manufacturing company, wants to rebrand itself as a smart mobility company. And the reason behind this is that we are moving into a highly artificial intelligence world, in which we are trying to automate just about everything. So the car industry is moving toward driverless cars, and there are many competitors, like Microsoft, like Google, like Tesla, and Ford. So what we can gain from this competition? The answer is a lot, because it's all the same computer vision, artificial intelligence, neural network, deep learning algorithm that we are seeing being developed and made publicly available on the internet. So now what we can do is take those research result and turn it into geospatial industry, so that we can do feature extraction, we can do change detection, we can reap the benefit of all the research money that been poured into this area by Google, by Microsoft, etc. So I want to, my analogy is that we want to ride on the tip of the rocket. That's launching right now. So we want to be there, and we want to take those, pick up the winners and go with it.
Good, thank you. Vince, let's talk a little bit about GeoMedia. I know that you and your team have put a lot of development into the Spatial Modeler. Can you talk about some of the improvements there?
Sure, Jay. First of all, we've delivered already some vector-based, feature-based spatial operators with GeoMedia 2016. But with the upcoming release, we'll be expanding that and actually implementing spatial operators for some of the more often used or popular capabilities inside of GeoMedia, like spatial difference, spatial intersection, analytical merge, aggregation. We've also got an implementation of our functional attributes capability as an operator as well.
That's great. What about the results of the spatial models?
Once you build the spatial model with the spatial model editor, you would do that with a professional license of GeoMedia. But once you have that model built, you can use that model inside any level of GeoMedia, Essentials and Advantage as well, with a new command called Run Spatial Model. Once you do that, the results are placed in the legend just like other queries and features are in a legend. You have the opportunity through the Explorer window, though, to actually run or rerun that model. Maybe some of the parameters need to be changed for the model or for the operator, or maybe the data's changed and you just need to update the results. But as soon as those results are available, then they can be used throughout the rest of GeoMedia, just like you see lists of features or lists of queries or categories. You'll now see the opportunity to use spatial models as well.
That's great. A lot of power there. Is there anything else exciting going on with GeoMedia and some of the add-ons?
With one of the add-ons, we are doing some work with GeoMedia 3D. We have had the ability for some time to have a flight path, but we've added to GeoMedia 3D in this next release a capability that's called first-person view. So now a person or a user can define their height, so to speak, and basically put themselves inside of the model at eyesight height. And once they're in the model, they can look left, look right, look up, look down, 360 degrees, and basically experience that model for themselves as if they were inside the model on the ground themselves. There's also a little slider that's in the window that allows them to narrow or expand their field of view. Human happens to have a field of view of 53 degrees, so that's kind of the default.
So that's really cool. I can make myself Superman then and fly
Absolutely.
through. That's really cool. So what about ImageStation?
ImageStation, yes, but I never want people to forget we have an ImageStation product line. Probably the number one thing we've done in ImageStation is added support for UAV. UAVs and drones are very popular these days. Some people do not like to use the software that comes from that UAV. It's kind of a black box or canned approach to processing the data, and they've with ImageStation, we've made it easy for them to import that UAV data into the ImageStation and use it through our traditional aerial workflows. But it does give them more control over the processing and of the quality of the products they put out of ImageStation.
That's really wonderful. So that's the aerial view improvements. What about satellite?
True, we've done some work in the satellite area as well. If not number one, then at least number two. What we've done for satellite is added support for the RPC sensors, or rational polynomial coefficients. So with the next release of ImageStation, we should have an additional 20 or so satellite sensors supported. That's
great. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, there's always plenty of things to talk about, I think. We can go back to spatial models for a moment. We've made some improvements in the ImageStation DTMQ product, and we did that through the spatial model editor and spatial operators. So if you are a customer or a user of ISDQ, you'll now have a new experience that came solely from using spatial operators and spatial models. The GUI and the user experience has been greatly improved just using spatial model editor. It's a good example of being able to affect a product and a user experience without having to write any software code.
That's great.
I just want to say that the great collaboration between the Imagine team and the GeoMedia team in foster the comprehensive operators inside your spatial modeling has been stepped up in the last year greatly, and there will be a lot of your feature operators that will be available to all of the spatial modeler users. And these are thanks for Vince's team to put those things inside the spatial modeling so that it will support all of our product. Regardless whether they are Imagine or GeoMedia or our cloud platform, those are all combined under the flag of spatial modeling, and will be making a huge impact in the next major version of Imagine and GeoMedia and our cloud offering.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you for joining me, Zaiyong.
Thank you.
And Vince, pleasure to talk to you always. So if you'd like to learn more about Hexagon Geospatial products, please go to hexagongeospatial.com. And if you'd like to watch more episodes, please go to hxgntv.com. Thank you for joining us.